This is my Triumph Street Triple R. I bought this in 2014. This is a great bike. It's obviously a 675cc bike with 106 horsepower and 68 Newton meters of torque at 9,750 RPM. This particular bike also has ABS and a tire pressure monitoring system. I think it's a great looking bike. The front headlight cluster got a little getting used to, but now I just love it. I love the way the bike looks, especially in this white and red color scheme. This bike has the Nissan calipers in front and the Brembo brakes in the rear. The instrument cluster is an LED display with an analog tachometer. My favorite feature is that it displays the gear that you're in, which is more useful than I thought it would be. Now the 2020 Street Triple R has a little more power, but it's a little less down on torque. Looks are subjective. I think it's a good looking bike, but the front headlight cluster is not something I'm too fond of. It looks a little bit like ET with the head sticking out. When I got my bike the first time, I thought the ride was a little on the stiffer side, but this is easily adjustable because the suspension can be adjusted. There are 5 adjustments, 1 on the rear shock, 2 on each side of the handlebar, and 2 on each side of the front wheels. 2 or 3 clicks to the soft side made the suspension much more compliant. Alright, which one do I ride today? This one or maybe this one? Well, I think I'll take the Triple out today. This is as much or more fun than my 911. I always have my gear on when I ride. I do look a little silly, but hey, you only have one life. I'm a physician and have seen my share of motorcycle accidents, so I take this quite seriously. This graph shows the frequency of body parts that are injured, and if you look, the upper and lower extremities are the most commonly injured, followed by the head and neck, and then the thorax and spine. The only way to decrease the risk of injury is to be protected, so please don't skimp on gear. Remember, helmets save lives, and you do need a full helmet. If you look at this helmet graph here, it shows the percentage of injuries in different areas of the helmet. So if you have a half helmet, you only really protect the crown of your head and you leave most of your face and jaw to significant injuries. So if you look, almost 20% of injuries are to the jaw. All right, so you really need a full helmet. If you're wearing a half helmet, that means you don't care about the rest of your face and jaw. Like I said, I have had my bike for about 6 years now, and it still rides as good as new. Unfortunately, I have not driven it as much as I would have liked, and I don't have a whole lot of miles on it yet. So every winter I think about selling the bike, and then come summer I ride it again and fall in love with it all over again. How does it ride? After making adjustments to the suspension, the ride is pretty comfortable. The seats are okay. I suppose they could be a little more comfortable, and I think you can get gel seats as an option. The seating position is mostly upright, so I'm not straining my back, and it's much more comfortable than a lot of the other sports bikes that I've ridden. By the same token, since you're sitting upright, at faster speeds you get a lot of wind buffeting on your body, and you have to bend down a little bit to be a little more aerodynamic. It has a 6-speed gearbox, and it's really satisfying to click through the gears. If you don't match your shifts to the RPM, the shifts can be a little bit abrupt, but gradually you get used to it. The lights on the instrument cluster light up, telling you when to shift, and that is a fairly useful feature when you get the bike initially. The front Nissan calipers and the Brembo brakes on the back do a fabulous job in stopping the bike pretty quickly. My bike is also equipped with ABS, so you can often feel the ABS kicking in to prevent a wheel slide. And I think it's an important safety feature to have. When riding, I usually like to see the tire pressure monitor to know what the tires are doing and to make sure the tires have got enough heat in them. One of my favorite features of this bike has to be the sound the engine makes when you accelerate and when you rev it. There are a lot of aftermarket options, but I think the stock engine sounds pretty good. Another day, another very satisfying ride. Riding this bike is nearly as much fun as driving my Porsche on a track. And the bike I can ride every day, whereas the Porsche I can only take it to the track once in a blue moon. I hope you like this video. If you do, your like and subscribe will mean a lot to me. Thank you.